Friday.
What kind of nut would go over Niagara Falls in a barrel or leaps off New York's George Washington Bridge?
All I want to do is have some fun, you know.
Fun? The price this daredevil's paid for his hazardous hobby.
Matt.
Yeah, this wild man gets his adrenaline rush by the barrel load. Extra's Wendy Walsh reveals Steve's dangerous approaches to sightseeing.
Broke my legs, broke my arms, broke my neck.
The only thing Daredevil Steve Trotter hasn't broken is his spirit. This 34-year-old bartender from Fort Lauderdale is addicted to danger. His resume of hair-raising and illegal stunts includes Tarzan-like leaps off 7 U.S. bridges. Watch as Steve and his brother, harnessed to a rope, free fall off New York's 200-foot-high George Washington Bridge. Not to mention 2 death-defying trips down the 176-foot-high Niagara Falls in a barrel.
All I want to do is have some fun, you know.
His childhood fantasy, Steve took his first trip over Niagara's edge in 1985. He did it a second time in June of 1995 with his friend Lori Martin. It was a mission 4 years in the making.
5-point harness, quick release.
Steve's vessel, a $26,000 fiberglass barrel equipped with oxygen, a communication device, and of course...
We had music inside, Pearl Jam, I'm Still Alive.
The long-awaited fall kicked off with a heave-ho out the back of a truck.
And all of a sudden, whoa! You just, like, go right over.
On shore, spectators gasp in sheer amazement.
They're crazy.
They're nuts. Maybe, but a couple of lucky nuts who emerged from the 15-second descent wet and shaken, but thankful to be alive.
I just do it for myself and for the rush, self-enjoyment.
Steve's next rush will be a record-setting 5-man plunge off a very high U.S. bridge on the East Coast.
I'm not going to let you know what bridge it is, because it is illegal.
But he promises it'll be his most pulse-pounding.
There's always that slight possibility that death is there. You know, it's part of life, but, you know, I don't plan on ever dying.
Now, Steve's adventures can be costly. After the second Niagara Falls stunt, he was fined $3,700 and spent 2 weeks in jail. Brad, Libby?
Yeah, and flirting with death every second.
I think he's nuts. All right, thanks, Wendy. Well, it's not Niagara Falls, but the sports and those little daredevils that do them.
Hey, would you bungee jump? Would you skydive? Would you get in a barrel and go over Niagara Falls? Well, this is Steve Trotter, and he has done it all. Mr. Insane Man, we came out of the tape with Sharon Lawrence, and he said, who is that? Who is that? And we were laughing. I said, well, nobody would expect you to know that she's on NYPD Blue because you've been in a barrel.
In a barrel. Now, you are a wild man that does anything for thrills, and you're a mother's nightmare. I'm going to represent every mother here.
Go ahead.
But one of the big deals,
yeah,
I bet she thinks you're a nightmare.
Loves me to death.
Oh, of course. Doesn't want to lose you. Okay, but you went over Niagara Falls in a barrel, and we're going to see tape of it, but this is the one time you went with another person, right?
Yeah, I went with Lori Martin, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so let's see.
Did Lori go willingly?
First time, it's Canadian side. Lori went willing, yeah, I'm very convincing, but she climbed in there, I harnessed her all in, but here it is. This is 50 feet before the edge. Okay, you're coming down, right against the Canadian shore, and this will show you going right over there.
Oh, over
it's 176 feet right here. Boom, 176 feet. 1,200,000 gallons of water, landing to 78 miles an hour to a dead stop. So it's like, ooh.
Oh, I guess.
You lose your wind, you know. She didn't lose her wind. I couldn't talk to her. I was like, I couldn't talk really that much, but.
Oh, yeah, you go against
This is her climbing up. This is the rescue.
In a sentence or two, how was it going over?
Absolutely awesome.
Was it?
Yeah.
Would you do it again?
No. Okay, and so
she does say if they double dared me. She does say that, but intense, very intense. I won't be back here again.
Okay, Steve. Why did you do that?
Everyone says that. When I was 7 years old, my dad took me up to the falls, and I was just like, whoa, man, this place is great. It's kind of almost hypnotic, you know, but I didn't know 15 years later I was going to go over in a barrel, but 1985, my grandmother's birthday, I went over the first time, August 18th, 85. And 10 years later, Father's Day, June 18th, 95, I went over with a woman, first time in the history of the world to take a woman in the barrel.
And didn't you get arrested, my son?
Oh, yeah. got arrested big time, thrown in jail for 2 weeks, dig that. $14,700 worth of fines for Lori and myself.
And how much does your little tube cost that you built?
$26,000.
To go in
the barrel.
tube?
Yeah, had nuclear warhead missile packing inside.
Windows? No windows.
No windows, no. No, I don't want to see yourself.
Well, why wouldn't you want to look at yourself going down?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not into that, you know. I'm like into like talking the communication of where I am in the river. I don't want to see where I am.
So you were actually radio connected to somebody up above?
Oh, yeah, the whole time.
But how can you get that thrill if you don't even know you're in air?
You get that thrill, hon. Believe me.
Did you lose your voice, or are you
feel
naturally
it.
low like that, or did you lose it
I
going
broke my
over the
neck.
falls?
I fell out of a tree a year ago on my birthday.
Oh.
Drinking a beer up in a tree.
You go over the Niagara Falls.
I can't believe it either. On my birthday, I was up in a tree. My friend, we were climbing down, and I was reaching for a branch, and he stepped on my hand, and down I went.
And you broke your neck.
Yeah.
But you bungee jumped too.
Yeah.
And I think we have some tape of Steve being insane once again.
Well, that's at George Washington Bridge in Manhattan to Teaneck, New Jersey. That's my brother. I took my little brother. My mom wanted to kill me.
This is actually illegal also.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah. Is it the rebellious part and the illegalness of it that makes it more exciting?
It's the rush, jumping off that bridge. That's Tampa Skyway Bridge. That's 3 guys on one cable. That was a cool bridge.
So you all jump together?
That's a watchtower.
Don't you bang into each other when you
No, because when you jump, you all go at the same time. Like you're standing on the edge. Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
You're standing on the edge, right?
Yeah.
And the people are next to you, you're all hooked to the same cable. So you pull on the cable, and usually at the 3rd bounce, it levels out, and the helicopter's perfect. You just jump, and you all go at the same time.
So doesn't that make y'all want to try it at home? You want to go?
Okay, now
She does.
She does. Okay.
You're inspiring the other
into it.
adrenaline.
So would you rock climb what they're doing?
The rock climbing thing, I just think like she said, when you knock the little peg into the hole, I think it's going to fall out on me, you know, and I'm going to fight it.
That scares you.
Yeah.
But going over the Niagara Falls doesn't.
No, because the engineering at Consolidated Yachts in Fort Lauderdale, their engineering there, they put it together so well, the barrel.
Do they make it the barrel to go over Niagara Falls, which is illegal? How could that be?
No, well, you don't tell anybody.
No, they don't have they don't have like a store where you can go and buy this barrel.
No, you have to put it together.
But Steve, you're on national television right now.
But I already paid my fine, so it's cool.
Oh, there you go. What's the next stunt you're going to do?
I'm doing a bridge in this country. 5, got the little girl that went over to Niagara Falls with me. She's in the middle. There's 5 guys, and I showed you how we do it. But we're doing 5 off this bridge, maybe next month. But I'm not going to tell you the bridge.
And we're not going to tell us what bridge.
No, I don't want to get busted before I do it.
Why? Why do that? You know, I actually understand how you feel. And going over Niagara Falls, maybe, it's like going way overboard like you, Steve. But if you're looking for a real thrill in the water, I've got a real one. I'll test you on this one.